Carrie, honey, oh, it's so good to see you. Thank you and welcome to the Perimenopause Revolution, girl. I know you have been in this revolution for a hot minute, but I just want to welcome you as a certified sister in this journey.
Do we get crowns or a watch or a diploma? Do we get something?
Diamond earrings?
Even better. Tennis bracelet.
Something. I just got a Whoop strap. That was all I got in perimenopause.
I know, to check all the things, right? The heart rate and the HRV.
Yeah, what was my HRV today? I don't even want to look. I don't want to see what my HRV was. It didn't feel good this morning, so I'm just going to pretend like I'm not looking. I want to jump right in, and I want you to take me back to the moment when you first realized that you were in perimenopause. Or that you had an inkling. You're like, what's this? And what were you feeling at the time?
I was literally sitting in this exact spot on this exact computer, and I had a brilliant idea, a flash. Oh my gosh, such a good idea, Carrie. And I went to open a tab on my computer, and I completely forgot everything. And I was like, no. Nope. And then I started laughing because I was like, oh, I know what this is. This is ridiculous. And I have a long history. I have a partial photographic memory. I have an incredible memory just in general. And I thought, dang it, it's coming. And it came. Definitely, I do it often. I forget words. The words are on the tip of my tongue. I don't forget the things I need to do per se, but if I come up with something in a moment or something to do, it's gone. If I don't immediately do it, write it down, handle it, I can't have 2, 3, 4 balls in the air anymore and be able to remember every single one with crystal clarity.
I feel like I've been in this perimenopause journey with you for years now, in the sense that I remember when initially it was very rare, but you noticed.
Yes. And I knew, because we're so educated, I knew what it was. I knew it was different than just I'm stressed out or I have a lot on my plate or I hadn't slept well. Like, oh, I know. Like, no wonder I didn't think of that. It was a very clear blank. I couldn't pull it back. And I just started laughing. And I was like, this is what the women talk about. And it was exactly right. Because when it happened again, or it happened again, and it happened again every time, I'm just like, oh, come on, brain. We can do this. You used to do this. And that was about 4 years ago. I was probably about 44 when I had my first. I'm sure there were maybe other subtler symptoms I wasn't listening to, but that one was the first that got me.
I want to talk a little bit about those brain-related symptoms. I'm curious, really quickly I want to dive a little bit deeper into the brain-related symptoms that you're experiencing. But I'm a charge-forward woman. So I'm usually charging into the room. I'm charging into the kitchen. Like, I am so clear. And it is the worst feeling to have going with full intention, full momentum to somewhere. And then you get there and it's gone.
Yeah.
You're like, I had a purpose.
Yeah.
I was purposely walking in here,
midair to open a tab on my computer. Like, brilliant idea. Let's go. What was the idea? What? From the time it took to open a tab on my computer, it was gone. Yeah.
And since those 4 years, knowing that was kind of the hallmark of like, oh, okay, I know what this is. What else has popped up for you?
So the next big symptom was definitely sleep. Waking up, ebbs and flows, waking up from 1 to 3, waking up from 3 to 5, waking up from 1 o'clock onwards, and that would come and go. And that's really when I started to implement progesterone at night much more consistently. I was very happy about it. I would forget. I wouldn't track my cycle. My cycles have always been really regular, and they still are, but I would forget the progesterone part. So sleep was the next thing. And then I started to get itchy ears, which was lovely. And then I would get random weird ones, phantom smells. An OBGYN friend, Dr. Lakeisha McMillan, said, have you had phantom smells yet? And I said, no, what are those? So she explained it. And about, a month later, I had a sewer smell. And I grabbed my husband and I said, we were in the bathroom. It makes sense. I'm like, come smell. Do you smell the sewer? Do you smell the sewer? And he's like, no, I don't smell anything. I'm like pushing his face in the sink. I'm like, do you smell the sewer? He's like, no. And then I was at Target and it happened again. And I was like, oh, it's a phantom smell. I think I've had it 3 times total. It's the same sewer smell every time. Yesterday, I had an ocular migraine for the first time ever. I lost partial vision in my right eye. I have a history of migraines and headaches. And I was like, is this a stroke? I literally have lost part vision in my right eye. It lasted about 4 to 5 minutes. And then I got the head pain. And I was like, oh, that's a new one. Okay.
Oh, man.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, I'm going to do my due diligence. I did eye testing. I've got an appointment with my eye doctor. I was called my doctor friends. But my one girlfriend who's in primary care goes, Carrie, that's an ocular migraine. Yeah. And you're a couple days out of your period. I'm assuming it's hormonal. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you can't tell this eye is twitching right here.
I cannot tell. But
okay, I keep it.
my sister and migraines, yes.
I get eye twitches when I have migraines. I was telling you I have one right now. And mind you, I got on the drugs as soon as possible, knowing the day. And I've actually never had an ocular migraine. I used to have them with aura. Yeah. Now they're usually cervicogenic. Occipital and then moving. And then it's usually on the left side, but then my right eye glitches. So it's all left side except for my right glitchy eye.
That's why. Yes. I have the cervicogenic as well. That's usually my migraine. I don't get aura. Never have had an aura before my migraine. It was the tight muscles. And then I could tell the difference between, you probably just needed foam roll or stretch or magnesium or something. And I can tell between this is moving to a full-blown migraine. We need to act quickly. Ocular, where I actually have lost part vision for a couple minutes. I'd never had that before. So
no, I cannot relate to those. I know of those. I've had a lot of patients and friends they came out of nowhere and they're like, oh my God, what's happening to my eyes? Ran to the ER and, based on symptomology was like, okay, this is an ocular migraine.
Yes. And obviously other funny mental, emotional type. I'm more irritated. I have no patience. I have no mouth filter. I have to be very careful what I say when I say it, and especially in public. And every once in a while, hot at night, I can tell my thermostat internally has gone up a little. I've always, like a lot of women, I was very cold. I ran cold. My hands and feet were cold. And now I can tell I'm not as cold as I used to be. In fact, I can push warm much faster than I used to. But like I said, cycles are still regular. So I will be curious how the next 4 years go.
Yeah, I love watching you on Instagram. I love the new podcast and I love your emails too. I was actually just reading reading an email of yours yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're like, girl, I sent that. I know. Or someone sent it on your team.
Yes.
And it's interesting to go through this transition, being an educator, being an expert and having a lot of plates in the air.
Yeah.
You're speaking on stages, you're traveling a bit, you're showing you are the expert. Is any of that shifted? Have you ever felt in the work aspect of your life where things have faltered or you've had to take a step back or you've had to readjust or recalibrate your workload or how you show up for work?
I've definitely realized, and this is very recently, probably within the last month, where I was like, I have to stop saying yes to everything. Mm-hmm. So much around hormones, hormone education, like you, it just lights me up, it fires me up. But I was just saying yes to so many things. And I thought, I actually don't have the bandwidth for this. I don't have the bandwidth for this. I don't have the energy for this. I'm sort of moving my brand as an example, expanding that. And I don't want to be on an airplane 3 to 4 times a month, going to different places. I have to be very careful with my time. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have noticed my attention and motivation is not what it used to be. I definitely at times questioning, is this adult ADHD? What is going on that I feel very much more scattered than I ever have before? And I can tell it definitely ebbs and flows with my cycle, but it didn't used to. I would never have described myself like this before. And I'm married to somebody with pretty significant ADHD diagnosis, dyslexia. So I've watched him. And as I see sometimes similar patterns in me, I'm like, is this hormonal? What is going on? But that absolutely can impact my day-to-day in work, what I do. I have to be very cognizant where I put my energy.
Yeah, I was just curious how that was playing out for you. And in this particular continuum, because honestly, I feel like it's just a continuum. I really struggle when people are like, and I get that some of these symptoms are going to kind of work themselves out. But in terms of the silent shift that happens in perimenopause into menopause, those don't just stop because your hormones are inconsistently binding to receptor sites during peri. I'm like, the bigger things, they just keep on rolling through,
That is the truth. That is the truth. And it's so fascinating for as much education as you and I have around this. I mean, starting from my young 20s, this was the path of education I chose to go in. I went to medical school to learn women's health and hormones. I did my residency in women's health, hormones, gynecology. I got board certified in naturopathic endocrinology. But to actually go through it at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. I feel so lucky that I am perimenopausal at the same time I am doing a lot of education around perimenopause because it's lived in, it's real. Like
It's
I
real.
can relate. Even the symptoms I don't have yet or maybe won't get, but other women do. I'm like, oh no, I have so much compassion for you because I maybe don't have those yet, but I have these other things. Like I get the you feel sometimes like your body's being weird or betraying you. I get the sudden onset. I get the sudden all of it, and then it departs. Like I get the sort of nuance being in perimenopause and teaching about perimenopause at the same time. I look back at my younger self as a doctor, and I think I was a great doctor when I had a full-time practice. But I could only imagine what my perimenopausal women thought of me when I was trying to direct them in my late 20s and early 30s. Like, sure, Carrie. You just wait. I had so many that were like, you just wait. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. And I mean, my 95% of my practice was perimenopausal and menopausal women it wasn't being recognized. No one was connecting the dots. Even I wasn't really connecting the dots. I knew it was hormones. And that was one thing that wasn't happening. They were just getting siloed to so many different departments in the healthcare system. But I did know it was hormones. Yeah. And I did know, I wasn't recommending hormones though. This is 2009, 2010. So that wasn't happening, but lots of lifestyle modifications. I was looking at full lab panels, but we were really missing the boat. And it broke my heart because so many women were like, I have so much on the line right now.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. I was steady. I was sound. I could do it. It wasn't effortless, but it was close to effortless.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it feels like everything is shifting. And, now knowing what I know, I would have done things a lot differently in practice because I just didn't know. I didn't know how destabilizing it could be.
Living through it now, I totally get. I was in medical school when the WHI, the Women's Health Initiative, came out. And my mentor, so I was in my 20s, my mentor was in her 40s, and she was like, nope, we're going to still prescribe hormones. Like, I don't think this is true. I don't think hormones single-handedly cause cancer. We're using bioidentical, not that they're risk-free, but she's like, I think there are a lot of flaws with this study. So I had a really wonderful mentor who said, we're going to be careful and mindful, but we're going to continue to prescribe hormones. So I actually spent my entire 20-year career, all my practice, I prescribed hormones left and right. Now, what's crazy is that there wasn't a lot of hormone education because it had all gotten pulled. Everyone was afraid it causes cancer. So I had to rely on my pharmacists. People ask me, where did you learn all about hormones? How have you been practicing for hormones since I graduated in 2005? I said, it was my pharmacy friends. My pharmacists were like, here's how you do it. Since nobody else will talk about it because it, quote unquote, causes cancer. So I owe them everything. That's where I got into it. Now, thankfully, there's so much education. I'm so grateful. But it was few and far between for a long time, sadly.
There's so much education, yes. And we still have a ways to go.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to managing perimenopausal women.
Yeah.
And how we manage that. And I'd be interested it's one thing to recognize and to be like, oh, I know what this is. Okay. And it's another thing to bring in lifestyle intervention. Okay. I'm going to be more consistent with my bedtime routine and wake up routine. And that's all said and good until you can't sleep anyway, or you're waking up in the middle of the night. It's one thing to, that's not lost on me.
Yeah.
It's lifestyle interventions. Yes. Always keep doing the things that are going to support your overall well-being and be consistent about it. And I will tell you, I am doing all the things. And I still don't have amazing days. I always say the days where I'm struggling with my motivation the most are my migraine days.
Yes.
And last month I had 15 of them.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, I am literally in a state of survival at this point. It was having them every other day for a month. And I don't know what sparked this 15-day or 50 every other day for a whole month situation. I'm grateful that it's not happening this month.
Yeah.
I always think of migraines of having the flu. You kind of forget what it feels like until you have another one and you're just like, oh my God, this is awful. But otherwise my motivation has been really great. But with migraine days and mood days, I'm on progesterone. I'm on estradiol. I have testosterone. And I will tell you that there are still days where all these hormones, they're doing a lot of great things for me and they're really soothing things out. I'm still having moments where I don't have good stress tolerance. I'm still having moments where, at past 8 o'clock, don't effing talk to me. Don't talk to me because it's nothing out of my mouth is going to be good. Like you're not getting good at anything good out of me. And so one, what have been some of the interventions that you have brought on hormone wise or lifestyle wise? And has it been kind of the end all be all for you, or do you still find you're still working it out?
Oh, I am still working that out. Are you kidding? And so I just turned 48 and I
have my birthday, girl.
Thank you. My genetics, my mom and my maternal grandmother went through menopause 54ish, right? So I'm like doing quick math. I was like, wonderful.
I'll do it. That's 6 more years.
6 more years. And I've been doing it for about 4. So
okay, so you get the full 10, girl. You get the full 10 experience.
If genetics are happening, I'm the full 10 experience. And I definitely, like you, I do all the things. I remember I was in the back of an Uber with a girlfriend of mine who is 51. And she said, I didn't realize I was doing all the things. I'm perfect with diet, exercise, stress management. She's like, I'm just like crazy about it. And she goes, Carrie, it just wasn't enough. I had to add the hormones in. I said, don't be shameful. What are you shameful about?
Yeah.
And I know not everybody can do hormones for sure. But she said it took the hormones to like get me over the hump. And I'm like, yeah, it's like a seesaw. Like we do as much as we can on the lifestyle and the stress management and the sleep and the avoiding the environmental toxicants in our community and, blah, blah, blah. And then if we can and do add in the hormones, it's the other part of the seesaw. But it's still seesaws. Like we still have good days and bad days, and we still like things we cannot control. And because I can't control the roller coaster that my inherent hormones are on, and I can't control necessarily what the neurons in my brain are doing. I mean, I'm trying to the best of my ability to give it a good nutrition and, oxygen and movement and all the, vitamins and all the things. But still, like if my brain's like, not today, Carrie, it's like, all right, brain, not today. So I actually give myself a lot of grace and realize that it is kind of like a roller coaster or this seesaw that goes up and down. I mean, I definitely have days that, especially before my period, certain months, like the rage is insane. Like I'm a crazy person with the rage. I'm not a depression crying person. I mean, I will cry at like sad commercials, but absolutely I go right into the full blown irritation. I have zero GABA, it feels like, in my brain. GABA being the inhibitory, slow it down hormone. Yeah. And then other months I don't. Other months I'm like sail through, super easy, loving life. And I'm like, man, I feel really lucky to have all the education I have. And I have so much empathy for all the women who don't and are desperately searching like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, oh, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, the rage is real for me too. The irritability, the rage, the mood swings, the irritability. Yes. There's no crying over here. I'm just angry.
And I'm on progesterone. I take 200 milligrams of slow release progesterone. I actually have it compounded. I don't want the peanut oil. And so I get it compounded and I get it. They were like, do you want slow release? I'm like, yes, I'm not sleeping. Like I want it to be dripped out through the night to try to keep me asleep.
Yeah, because otherwise it spikes around 3 hours.
Yes.
And then it just kind of plummets right out. By the time you wake up, if you're testing in the morning, it's pretty much back to.
Yes. And if you go to bed late, that may work great. Women who go to bed at 10 or 11 and then they're like, oh, thank goodness I pushed through the 1 a.m. wake up. Well, last night, my husband's out of town for work. He texted me last night. He was like, what are you doing? It was like 8:30. I'm like, boy, I'm in bed. I'm snuggled up with the dog. I have a book. Like, I'm so happy. I'm like a toddler. I need a nap and you put me to bed early. You make sure I get snacks and protein. Like I follow a toddler lifestyle now. And my husband and I laugh all the time as we lay in bed at 8:30. I'm like, we can still party, right? As we like take our magnesium.
But do we want to?
We can still hang. No, we don't want to.
No, we don't even want to. I guess it's like hypothetically, could I?
I know. Like when I see you or, other girlfriends, I'm like, can we get lunch?
Lunch, brunch,
can we get
maybe?
Tea at 3? Like, I don't
can we have dinner at 5?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah. I was in an event and they were like, our dinner reservations for 8:30. I was like, PM? What?
No, first question is, how dare you?
Right, exactly. They were like, well, the conference ends at 6 and that'll give us some time. And then we can get to the restaurant. I was like, can we change it to 7? Like 8:30? Which I realize a lot of people are like, laughing. Europeans, apparently. Like we eat super late. Like, I think you're messing your circadian rhythm up.
That meal timing is out the door. Yeah, like meal timing.
Wait until Kingston's older and in sports, and your sports practice goes till 7:30, 8:30 p.m. Like you'll have to bring your dinner to the field.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not looking forward. I'm going to be further into this by that time. Oh,
that's true.
We're talking about this transition for you, and I know that there are some days that are probably hard days, and On those harder days, what gets you through it? Who do you lean on the most, and what habits or, what things are you letting go of on those days? What things are you prioritizing on those days to get you through that day?
Because I'm mouthy now. Well, I mean, mouthier. I announce it to everyone. It is a warning. So I'll tell my husband, I'm not in a good mood. It's like I'm feeling super hormonal. It's not you, it's me. And he's been wonderful through this, which is fantastic. My best friends were all the same age. We're all 48, 49. In my more immediate friend group, like you, we're all in our 40s. And so if I happen to talk to somebody, I'm like, man, I have no filter today. Today is a bad day, or whatever it is. I'm not feeling it. I don't feel good. I'm not motivated. And so it's nice because oftentimes whoever I'm talking to, like yourself before we got on, you were like, yep, I can totally relate. Here we are. We're in it together. And honestly, just having that community of women that are like, raise my hand. Yep, me too. I got you, has been immensely helpful. Even for as educated as I am, I'm like, oh, I'm not alone. There are a lot of women struggling, and there are a lot of women struggling a lot more than me, unfortunately. And so I, I'm in the ring. I'm in the arena doing it as well. I double down on my supplements, my hydration. I make protein. I do eat more chocolate. I'm not going to lie. I'm a dark chocolate girl. So I probably double, if not triple, my dark chocolate squares that day. And I don't care. I let go of things. I also look at my schedule. Important meetings required, I will attend. Anything I can push off, I'm like, not today. Can we move this? Do you care? Things that I may have scheduled in to record, to create, I may be like, not today. I'm going to move that till later. Or I am very lucky. Both my husband and I work from home and have our own companies. We don't have any children at home. So if I need to work at night or on a weekend, it doesn't interfere with family time because we can make that, it's pretty flexible. And so if I'm like, well, this isn't happening today, I know I have nights or weekends to make something up or the next day. And that has been, flexibility has been a real key part of me, how I build my business now in my 40s. And flexibility and freedom. And I think that has been maybe the biggest sanity piece of all. And then I have to remember, did I take my progesterone? Did I take my progesterone last night? Did you see me take my progesterone?
Somebody.
Right. Did I turn the bottle upside down?
It was like a video camera watching me to make sure I did this.
Because if not, I need to make sure I take it tonight. And just things like that, trying to stay on track.
Yeah, I hear you. I do agree that the flexibility has been a godsend. I know not every woman has flexibility. I get that you've got a 9 to 5 that you have to drive to, and you got to get your kids wherever they are supposed to go. And then there's not a lot of wiggle room for you for you to pivot or to let things go. So I know extra grace in those moments, because I can imagine that is really hard. I was in perimenopause when I got hit in the head twice, and a lot of things in my life had to stop. And I was so grateful that I had built so much, that I had a lot of content that was backed up. I had just finished a course, a lot of these things I had done that I could really take away. But like last month, in the middle of migraines every other day, I was kind of stuck in a spiral. I was able to offset. There were certain things I could do when I was, when I had, the migraine medicine. I always feel like your brain just scrambled. But it's that flexibility that I've just been so deeply grateful, where I'm like, even though this deliverable, I need to get this to the team today, I can most likely push it to tomorrow. They're going to have to hustle on their end.
Sorry,
my bad. But it is what it is. I mean, all my whole team knows that I suffer from chronic migraines, especially in perimenopause. And it's just, I honestly do not know what I would do if I wasn't the boss.
Yeah.
If I didn't dictate the schedule and dictate the content. I was sharing a stat with Dr. Kelly Casperson a minute ago that $26 billion are lost in women in perimenopause and early menopause due to absenteeism and loss in productivity, because they just don't feel like they can do it. Their brain feels like it's on the fritz. And I was like, if I'm working a corporate job, I would absolutely be in that statistic.
And if you are in a very high performing job, so I live in Portland, Oregon. So we have Nike headquarters here.
My sister-in-law works there.
So I saw, and where my clinic was based when I had a full-time clinic, I saw a ton of Nike employees. We have an Adidas, the West Coast Adidas is here in Portland. I saw Adidas employees. We have Under Armour here. I saw a lot of Under Armour. So there were these very high functioning top women, usually former sport of some sort, go-getters, and they would just slam into their 40s, and they'd come see me and go, do you not realize I work for Nike? Like, if I slow down, the 33-year-old under me is going to take my job. But I can't do my job. I'm having hot flashes. I'm not sleeping. I can't think right. I cried yesterday. And so
silently in the bathroom
or not. I've had a lot of women tell me they burst into tears in a meeting. And I understand that this can happen at any job, but it's like even more pressure. Like, you can't be a teacher and be trying to teach high school students, or middle school students, have a hot flash and break down in tears. Like, you will get recklessly ruined at any job you're in, but these high push it their whole life performers, it's devastating. I had so many conversations with them about, one, what are we going to do? And two, are we sure this is the right job for you?
Yeah. Oh, gosh,
it's a reality check.
And I think that's what happens. Yeah. Women leave their jobs. They leave their positions. They're not getting raises. They're not getting promoted. We see that happening across the board at this particular age. I know that it can feel like such a reckoning,
Well, that's what I was going to ask her. Then I would see women who thought this is what they want, which for some of them, it still was. And for others, they were like, what am I doing? I don't want this at all. Like, they hit their 40s or early 50s, and all of a sudden, I love the word reckoning. I love that so much. It's like who they are, who their relationships are with, how they feel, how they speak and act, and what they do with their life. They're like, wait a minute, I don't think I want this, but I thought I did. It's like a whole turnaround for a lot lot of women.
No,
it's not always good.
It's a reckoning. Yeah,
but it's a reckoning.
Absolutely. Like, it forces you to confront, why you're doing what you're doing. Does this make sense? I think the thing that has been most destabilizing for me is that a lot of the things that we do and a lot of things that these high achieving women are doing require massive executive function. And I'm like, that disappeared.
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Like, my executive, did it show up? And those are the days where I'm most productive in my home. Like, those are the days you're going to see me doing extra laundry. Yeah. Those are the days you're going to see me running errands, because that doesn't require a lot of executive function from me. I'm like, there's a belief system that I'm still messing with, that I'm still trying to heal, which is I still need to be productive to some capacity.
I have the same belief system. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can be productive in my kitchen. Yeah. I could sweep this floor again. I can fold clothes.
Let me check something off my list. This I can do. Doesn't require a whole lot of thought. Yeah.
No, I can do it.
Frustrating.
Yeah. I want to talk about symptoms that nobody really talks about, particularly symptoms that we also even see in medical journals that we're just like, you mentioned it, like itchy ears, phantom smells, and, things that women are feeling embarrassed or shameful of. I mean, I think that the narrative is that what we hear a lot is that it's our fault. It's our fault this is happening to us, that we're inherently broken. And man, there's so much shame and really embarrassment around a lot of the symptoms that are happening. And for that reason, I feel like there's a lack of standard of care for women, and also that we're not meeting women where we need to meet them.
Right. I mean, even like a burning tongue, or like the neurologic zaps that you might feel in your head or somewhere along your nerves, somewhere in your body. You just get these weird zaps. I mean, feeling like bugs are crawling on you. And they're not, and that comes and goes. Even the vaginal symptoms. I mean, definitely I had a number of women that would come in and go, I think my partner's cheating. I must have an infection. I think there's something wrong down there. Can you check me out? And it was GSM. It was genital urinary syndrome of menopause, but they had the dryness, they had the burning, they had a pain with sex, they had urinary tract infections, and they were like, something's wrong with me. Like he did something or she did something, or I got to test me for everything. And it was like, oh, you don't have any estrogen down here. Like your hormones have left the building. And so they have been pining away up at night, worried, concerned, trying to get in to see me to get testing, which we always did, just in case. And at the end, I'm like, it appears hormones. So even those kind of symptoms where they may go in, get a urinalysis done, it's normal. You don't have a urinary tract infection. You don't have a urinary tract infection. It's not a yeast infection. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Meanwhile, they're like, no, I'm falling apart. Like yoga pants hurt. Riding a bike hurts. It itches. It's dry. It's painful to have sex. What's wrong with me? Nothing. There's no bacteria. It's not bacteria. It's estrogen.
Yeah, or lack thereof.
Yes. Or DHEA. Like it's a totally different answer. And the same goes with musculoskeletal syndrome of menopause. The number of women who have frozen shoulder, who like so much joint pain, hip pain. Oh my gosh. big toe pain, like these pains that suddenly come on and everyone's like, oh, it must be fibromyalgia. Oh, you have osteoarthritis now, But, I mean, maybe, but also it could be a lack of estrogen. Like there's a lot of reasons, but they get blown off. They get put on pain medication or sent to a physical therapist. And then the shoulders are shrugged. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why that's not working. We do know now. We do know.
How has that changed your type of, I know you're not seeing a lot of patients, but in terms of now what you know, living in it, living through it, I mean, we're in it, girl, we're going to be in it. You and I, at least for another 5 years, and so how has that shifted the way that you manage care?
I'm a lot more forceful now. I mean, back in the day, we had vulvovaginal atrophy, VVA. That's what we called it. Yeah. But since the concept of like everything down their pelvic region, GSM, genital urinary syndrome of menopause, wonderful papers. Ever since Vonda Wright and her team wrote Musculoskeletal Syndrome of Menopause, very great, compact, explained papers. I'm like, fantastic. I have amazing papers and data to be like forceful. Here's the education. Here's what I think's going on. And here are options we can do. Again, I understand not everyone can or wants to do hormones, but now I can fully educate them and then they can decide versus spinning around from practitioner to practitioner, trying to find answers when I'm like, here's the answer. We know what it is now. Like, let's see what we can do to address it. So I'm definitely a force. And I'm a force in that it's so funny. You described how you're a force when you walk into rooms. You're a force when you make a decision. Like I feel that when women are like, my doctor doesn't believe in it. My doctor said no. I'm like, okay, if you took your dog
if
you took your dog to a vet and the vet was mean or gave you the answer was bad,
you're like, I don't,
no,
you gotta go.
If you took your child to a new pediatrician and the pediatrician was like, said something you completely thought was against what you believed in or was harmful or dismissive or gaslighting to you as a mom, you'd find a new pediatrician. It's the same thing. Fire them. Or I'm like, if you like your primary care for colds and flus, keep them for that. You like your OBGYN for your PAP once a year, it's covered by insurance, then let's find an expert who can actually help you. So I'm much more forceful in that than I used to be.
I agree. I'm much more forceful. I think it's important that women understand what's actually happening under the hood, and I think we've been taught the societal narrative and even the medical narrative is that women should always seek guidance and counsel about what's happening with their bodies. And I really want to move women to a place where they're really trusting their intuition. They're trusting, if something isn't feeling right, if something like you walk out of that conversation in that exam room and you're just like, I don't know, I don't love it. Or you walk out more confused or more questions than you walked in. You don't feel like you have somebody on your side. You have the right to find someone else. And I get that doesn't feel easy and that doesn't feel very fair. And it isn't, but we have a big knowledge gap.
Yeah.
And we have a big clinical gap still.
Yeah.
That we're trying to overcome.
I always quote Wizard of Oz, Glinda the Good Witch, you've had the power all along, my dear. Yeah. So I say that to women, just as you said, like if your intuition is like, no, this isn't working for me, like listen to that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, listen to that. If you could go back to 40 years old, right? To right before the symptoms were going to start coming on, what would be the most critical advice you would have told your pre-perimenopausal self?
I've always worked out my whole life. I'm very tall. I'm 5'9", always been normal weight for height, but I definitely prefer cardio over lifting weights, even though I
know the deal.
Not consistently, let's be honest. So I would have told myself at 40 years old, like, you need to start lifting weights. Like you need to switch out. Yeah, go for walks, fine. But like you need to switch out elliptical or these high hit all the time for putting solid muscle on your body. Because now in the last 2 years probably is when I've gotten the most serious about lifting heavy weights. Not every day, 2-3 times a week maybe. I still do cardio. I love to go on walks, throw and hit here and there. I'm a lot more balanced, but it's the weight. I could see the change in my muscle and that even if I weighed the same, the muscle was different. It was squishier, not as strong as I used to be. Yeah, I wasn't about this squishy life. I was like, no, and I wasn't strong. And my husband's retired military. And so we always joke about zombie apocalypse. And he's like, Carrie, running from a zombie apocalypse, like you have to be able to jump over climb up over a fence and climb up a tree. And I was like, oh, we're serious. Like, okay.
Oh, and stab them in the head.
Yes,
Like, you know,
explosive. He's like, I need you, like, we need to jump and I need you to get some explosion out of you and I need you strong. And I was like, oh, right. This isn't about a bikini. This is a zombie apocalypse. I need to lift my suitcase and put it in my overhead bin. I need to be able to walk around cities when I travel. I want to be able to carry all the grocery bags from the car at any age, and feel like a badass. So that's what I would have told myself. Start training back then.
I love that. I always ask that question. I never know what I'm going to get. Sometimes it's like lift weights. That's what I would have told myself. Maintain and preserve that muscle.
Yes.
Because it's going to shift. It is one of those silent shifts that all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, why am I soft?
Yes.
What happened? And I'll tell you what, it's hard earned to get it back.
Yes.
It's not one of those things where you start taking hormones and boop, like you got to work for that muscle.
Yes, you do. Yes. Hormones or not, you have to work for it. That's the truth.
Exactly. I just wanted to speak into that. Anyone who's been thinking about it or wondering, or maybe you've never worked out before, or you've never really lifted weights before. I just want to be real with you. Like if there was everything, I think all lifestyle strategies that we implement, consistency is the thing. But if there was one thing that you're wondering, like, how consistent do I need to be here? Consistent
with a capital C. Yeah. I posted a video. This was probably about a month or so ago. And it was this woman who is showing different exercises on a chair. And I love the video because if you've never worked out ever, so you just said that if somebody listening has never worked out, there are a lot of women in this world who have never worked out beyond gone for a walk. Yeah. And so I was like, you got to start somewhere. And a lot of the information out there, lift heavy and is overwhelming. And this woman was so easy on the chair, like just start here. And I was like, yes, it's this simple. Get your kitchen chair. You can follow along with this woman, do it pretty consistently, and you will graduate up. But you have to start somewhere. You don't need to go in the gym and lift heavy if you've never even stepped into a gym. Yeah,
unless you've got somebody who's teaching you how to do it.
Exactly.
As I was writing the Perimenopause Revolution, I had a beautiful editor. She's so incredible. I'm not an editor, so I'm so grateful to have editors on my team, and then I go in and see what they do. But she was going through, I have a chapter just on movement and the power of movement, how movement is life. And I start with just NEAT. Like, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just moving, just parking further away from the store kind of a thing. Like, how do we just build in extra movement throughout the day? And then it went into walking after meals. And so it just kept going up, exercise, snacks. And then it went into HIIT training and heavy lifting. And she gets to the heavy lifting. I'm talking about compounded movements, and I'm breaking down concepts and power, and sprint training. The notes that were coming back to me in that chapter, she's like, I need you to flesh this out more. I don't know what any of this is. I've never done this. And I was like, how old are you? Like, it was just a big moment for me. She was 38. She's 38. And I was like, oh, I've been in the gym since I was 16. And so I don't, so then in the actual third part of the book where I break down an actual routine, the beginner workout is full on body weight and it's cardio as well. And you could pick up weights if you want. And then I had we're not messing around, the intermediate workout. Like we're doing compound moves. We are lifting to gain muscle. Yeah. And Hay House was like, we love it. And we're booting that part out of the book. It's in the bonuses. You can watch I have the videos, the whole thing, but they're like, we really need to meet women where they're at. Yeah. And like that, and like your editor, she's that woman and she doesn't know any of these things. Like she's picking the beginner workout series, and so it was a real eye opener for me. And I remember so in clinical practice all the time, I'd have women who were like, just tell me what to cut out. Tell me what to eat. Don't tell me that I have to go to the gym and lift weights. Yes, that was the vibe. And I know that it's shifting, thankfully, as well. But yes, I mean, there's ways to start, like that video or a beginner workout where it's just body weight. Yeah. And it's things that you probably did in high school, like jumpy jacks and jump squats and things like that.
Speaking of jumping, I'd read a statistic. This was a couple months ago. I read a statistic that the majority of adults over the age of 30, won't sprint ever again and don't jump. They might jump over a rain puddle or something, but jumping is not part of their thing. And I was telling this to my husband as we were walking the dog, and I had the realization of, when was the last time I jumped? like I couldn't like pull it out of my brain when I jumped. So we literally jumped off and on the curb while walking the dog. I was like, all right, I can still jump. And then I jumped up the stairs. You know, I have a 2-story house. So I like jumped up my stairs. I'm like, all right, I can still jump. And now I regularly incorporate jumping because I don't want to lose the ability to jump.
Power.
It's
power.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure I jumped again, like while hiking or walking or, you know, whatever, but I don't have it as part of my training. And you don't have to. Just remember, like when you're out and about, jump. Just jump in the air, jump rope, jump jacks, jump up your stairs, and just make sure you can still jump in your life. Jump side to side. Don't always go forward and backwards.
I do 180 jumps as well. My son and I are always jumping. Yeah. I've been interviewed a lot recently for the book, and I've been talking about my buy-in. So I have a buy-in usually to start interviews, a buy-in before dinner or after dinner. And it is 60 jump squats. It's 3 sets of 20 jump squats. I average 250 jump squats a day. Give or take.
You deserve the diamond earrings. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
It's just, I've built it in as a buy-in. I'm like, okay, doing this. And what's so cool about this, why I'm selling it. Everybody, I'm selling it. Okay. Is that I can do 20 jump squats in less than a minute. Yeah. I do a little emotional lap, kind of reset for like 10 seconds. And then I get the next set in less than a minute, do a little walk around for just a couple minutes and do the next 20, less than 3 minutes. I have 60 done. And then I just go about the buy-in, whatever the buy-in was, like, oh, now I'm just going to go into the meeting, or I'm going to go do the thing. And so I just constantly, and it's just, because it's just this 3 minute, 20, 3 sets of 20 stacks. Like I'm like, oh, I can just jump, just knock this out, little jump squat set. And then I'm back to doing whatever I'm doing. And it's incredible the gains that I've gained from it, you know, but more so mental clarity and better sleep quality is the 2 big winners for me.
I love that. Ours is walking. So we have a dog who's very active. We adopted him in 2019. He was a 2-year-old when we adopted him. And he had very high energy. So my husband and I are like, we have to walk this dog all the time. Well, now, of course, we've trained the dog. We don't know if we walk the dog or the dog walks us. Like, he's very timed. Like, it's time for my walk, our walk, family walk. Let's go. So we have an after dinner walk that we do. And because we know walking 10 minutes helps blood sugar, but our after dinner walk's 15 to 20 minutes with the dog, it's like the ongoing joke. Like, we have to walk the dog has to walk us, and we have to help our after dinner blood sugar. And it just has become this whole thing that we do with the dog. It's not jump squats, but we've done it really pretty consistently. And I think it helps a lot with my blood sugar.
Huge.
Doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. With a 4-year-old, I don't always get to go outside after meals. It just doesn't work out that way. He's like, I want to play Legos. Like, I don't care about going outside. Like, the arguing to get outside after a meal is just not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah. Although we eat really early, he wants to play and build his Legos. And so then that's when I'm usually doing exercise snacks. Yeah. Usually it's the jump squats, or it's jack squats, or it's mountain climbers, or it's push-ups. And we're talking 5 minutes, you know, so that as much as I really I want the 15 to 20 minute walk. It's just in my season of life, it's a no-go. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, what can we do with that?
How nice, how easy. I mean, if somebody's listening to this and it's snowing outside, where, you know, or it's raining outside, they don't want to go, they don't have access to a treadmill. They're like, oh, I can do air squats, jump squat, you know, maybe, or some sort of modified version. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or there's so many different modified versions. Okay. I want to ask you about your perimenopause superpower. So what strength or insight have you gained that you never would have discovered otherwise? Like, what has midlife and perimenopause brought to you?
I think it has brought to me, I mean, the first thing, honestly, that popped into mind was my ability to say no.
Yes.
As a full sentence. You know, there's that creator online, that amazing creator, Melanie, and she's the We Do Not Care Club. Mm-hmm. And I'm obsessed because I'm like, oh, yes, that summarizes it perfectly. No, and I don't care. Or no, and God bless, good luck, you know? And I find that as I've gotten older, I've always been confident, but my confidence has exponentially gone up because I just don't care. I just don't care anymore. And I love that. And I remember looking at my mom, where she'd like go get the mail in her bathrobe, or she would like, things would come out of her mouth. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Mom, don't say that. And there I am, you know, like there I am. Like, we have a central mailbox for our street. Like, there's like 8 houses that come to the same mailbox, and it's in front of our house. And our neighbor next door, who's a little older than me, she was out getting her mail the other day in her bathrobe. And my husband's like, she's in her bathrobe. I'm like, yeah, well, so
I mean, good for her.
Yeah. Like, babe, I've done that. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, but buns, slippers, bathrobe, and all, I go out and get the mail and come back in. Like, I do not care. And I think, I don't know if it's a superpower, but it definitely makes me feel super, that I just feel more confident who I am, what I stand for, what I'm doing. And ultimately, I don't care about anything else.
I love that.
How about you?
You know what I don't care about? I don't care about the mail. I don't care about the mail. I cannot tell you the last time we checked the mail.
You better with your book out.
I should probably, yeah, I mean, yes, definitely I do not care. The discernment.
Yeah.
Being discerning, boundaries, a big one for me, and getting really laser clear on the priorities that are going to help me feel more alive, and realizing that is probably the most important thing I can do.
Yeah. I've also found that I can get up earlier than I thought I could. I mean, I could always get up early for an airplane, but I do, like, we joke, as people get older, we'd see like grandma and grandpa, they'd get up at like 5 a.m. We were like, why aren't grandma and grandpa getting up at 5 a.m.? Oh, I mean, I don't get up at 5 a.m., but I can. I was at a business women's retreat for a week. We were up at 5:30 every morning, like walking, working out, journaling. It was not a problem. Easy peasy. That, and we were in bed by 8, but like, I'm like, oh, I like this. I see why as we get older, we get up earlier or go to bed earlier. Yes.
Well, I think a lot of it is alone time, at least for me. I'm up at 6. Kingston's usually not up until 7, although, who knows, some days. But it just gives me at least 45 minutes to an hour. I'm usually running to the gym or working out at the house or walking outside, doing something for me. Yeah. The other thing I've discovered that I'm so a full body yes to is alone time, like alone walks by myself.
Yes.
Don't bother me.
Yeah.
Don't holler at me. Don't come with me.
Yeah.
Though that's a very big non-negotiable for me. It's just being by myself.
I call it a hot girl walk, which obviously I didn't coin, very social media trendy, but I will tell, again, my husband and I both work from home. So I'm like, I'm going on a hot girl walk. And if I say I'm going on a hot girl walk, that's me, myself, and I. Don't invite yourself. Don't come. But if I come say, do you want to go on a hot girl walk? We can we'll do a little debrief. But it's very clear in the language. I'm going on a hot girl walk. Well, the unspoken word is you are not invited. I need alone time right now.
I love that. Yeah. I'm usually bringing a book boyfriend with me on those hot girl walks.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, honey, where can we get more of you? Tell us about the podcast. Tell us about what you're doing. I know you're writing a book right now.
I am. I'm in edits for a book. You can find everything on my website, drcarriejones.com. I'm on Instagram at dr.carriejones. And then my podcast, which of course inviting you to come on, is brand new. Hello Hormones with Dr. Carrie Jones.
Yes. Thank you, my love. Thank you for being a part of this beautiful revolution. And yes, I know deeply that we are in this together.
Yes, we are.
Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you are ready to learn more about perimenopause and how to navigate with a lot of ease and grace, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can join our community. Don't forget to share this video with someone that you love, that you know is navigating the perimenopause journey as well, because they deserve to feel their best too. See you in the next video.